Hello, this is Diane Dalton. This lesson will cover the command prompt in Windows 7. What is the command prompt? It is a text-based user interface program where you can type commands in and the response comes back to your window. The name of this command program is CMD. The full path is c:\Windows\system32\cmd.exe. The way to start this program is to type it into the Search Programs and Files box. When you hit the Start button, you type in CMD, and what you will see is a list. At the top you'll see Programs, and the cmd.exe is the first one. You can just press Enter to start it that way. But there are times when you're going to need to run CMD as the administrator, where you have administrative privileges. To do that, when you see the command.exe, you right-click on that and then click on the Run as Administrator. That indicates then that you are running it with administrative privileges. So just a few general help items that I'll document here in a PowerPoint slide, and then I'm just going to step through a bunch of these for you. If you want to get an entire list of all of the commands that are available through CMD, you can type Help. That's going to flash by your screen very quickly. So if you want to let that go through slower so it goes a page of information at a time, and this works for any command, you put the pipe, that's this vertical line, and you find that above the Enter key. It's the shift version of the backslash. So you do a pipe and then more. So after each command, the output to the screen then is paged one page at a time. And you hit a space bar to continue going to the next page, or you can type a Q to stop the paging, and then you will exit that command. Now if you need to get help on any specific command, you can type the command name, one of the names that you see from this help, follow it by a space, / and a question mark. I will step through using the command prompt. So I'm going to go to my Start button. Now I have the command prompt pinned to my Start menu. So I'm going to first run it just as a normal user, and I come up. What you should notice is that the folder that I come to is my default user folder, c:\users\d Dalton. Now I'm going to close that window, and I'm going to run it again, and this time I'm going to right click and run as administrator. And when you do that, you always get this user account control dialog box asking, do you want to allow this program to make changes to your computer? I'm going to say yes. And now what I see as my default, because now I'm an administrator, the folder that I'm logged into through the command prompt is c:\Windows\system32. So that's a difference, first of all, in how you start command prompt. So to show a few things, the help command, help, as I said, shows all of the different commands. Unless you want to scroll up, it shows so many. So I will show you the help with the pipe. It's the vertical bar, and I'm piping it to more, and I can see one page at a time. I'm going to hit a space bar, and it goes through. So these are the commands. They're listed alphabetically, and it gives a brief description of what each one does. So I spaced through until I got to the end. So your command prompt is what shows you the name of the current working directory that you're. What I want to do is learn more about how to use the directory command, or the dir. So let me do a dir, dir, that stands for directory or folder listing. There's quite a few in this folder, quite a few files. So let me do a dir and get help on this command. So I'm typing the /?, and that gives me a list of information on how to use the dir command. The slashes and the letters following them are called switches. They change the way that command works, and then sometimes there are variables that follow those switches. Those are other inputs into the command. So here's an example of the dir command and the different ways to use it. You could display /a and then d, so /ad means you're only going to display all of the directories. You can do it in different orders. This one automatically goes to a pipe command, so I get press any key to continue. Something else you can do with the command prompt, if the text is too small, you can adjust the size of it. You can click up here, right click, get to properties. You can adjust the font. You can make it a little bit larger. guess that's the largest size. That might be too large. Let me go with this so that things will show up a little better. You can adjust the window size if you want. Make this pretty much fit my screen recording window. Now if you want to navigate around between your folders, the command is CD for change directory. Here it is, displays the name of or changes the current directory. So if I just type CD alone, it shows me the current directory. If I want to go to a different directory, I type CD and the name of that directory. But let's do a dir first and find the names of all the directories. So here's the directories that are in this folder. Okay. I'm going to pick the drivers directory. So I'm going to do a CD to drivers. Right, so now this shows my current working directory has changed. I'm now in the drivers directory. Now if I do a dir of the drivers directory, I see a different list of files. These are the ones in the dir directory. Now some other shortcuts for navigating around folders. You can do a CD. A dot dot will move you up one level in the folder structure. So in this case, the CD dot dot will move me from the drivers folder to the System32 folder. And that is reflected in the command prompt, which always shows your current working directory. I can do that again. Now I can actually use two pairs of the dot dots, do dot dot slash dot dot, and that will take me up not from the System32 but to the C:, to my root directory. I've started the command prompt this time as a regular user, in this case my name D. Dalton, and I've changed to my documents directory. I'm going to show you how to use a redirect where you can take the output of a command in the command line prompt and put it into a text file. I'm going to use a simple command called date. This allows you to look at the date and if you want to change it. If I don't want to change it, I just press enter. So let's do a little help on the date command. So this displays how to use it, date. Now what's in these brackets shows the options of what you could put. This vertical bar indicates an option. So you could put /t or, this is an or a date. So I'm going to show it date /t, and in this instance when you use the -t it says just output the current date, no prompting for a new date. Right, so we're going to use the date and the /t as our command, and we're going to output that to a text file. So I'm going to type date /t, and I'm going to use the redirect command, which is the greater than sign, and I'm going to put this into a text file, date time output.txt. Now I'm just making up this file name, but it will be a text file. So when I hit enter, I've now created that file. And it shows that that file exists. Right, now there's a similar command called time. Works the same way. It allows you to show the time or enter a new time. Help on time, some more commands. It's got the same switches. So I'm going to do time /t, and this time I'm going to use a variation of this redirector. I'm going to put two greater than signs, and I'm going to use the same file name, date time output.txt. And using the two greater than signs appends additional data to the end of the file instead of overwriting it. And now I can look, and I'm going to have that same file, date time output.txt. We can look at the contents of that file using the type command. And what you see is that we entered the date and the time. So that's one way you can capture some information. More things you'll need to know how to do in command prompt. For one, there's a quick command, CLS. That's for clear screen, and you start clean. You're going to need to know how to create directories or remove directories. So you can create a directory, make directory is what it's called. I'm going to call it NOS 130. Changing directory, so I change directory to that one. NOS 130 will be my directory name, and since I just created it, it's empty. Now the two folders that it appears to be showing here, the one labeled with the dot is actually the current directory. That's the existing directory, the current working directory. The dot dot is the parent directory. In this case, that would be documents. Now to use the dot dot, I can use that, go to the parent directory, and I can remove that directory that I just created. And that's rmdir NOS 130. Now if I were to try to change directory to it, it no longer exists. So I can create that directory again, make directory. Now another way to remove a directory is remove directory, RD. It's a shortcut. There are some that behave the exact same way. Now I'm going to do a dir of that, NOS 130. It's another way I can look at it, but it's not there. So there is nothing there labeled NOS 130 because the last thing I did was remove directory. RD is the equivalent to rmdir. If we look again at the help command, I'm going to look at that, help, and page it using the more, get to the R's, and as you can see, RD removes a directory, same as rmdir removes a directory. In summary, using the command prompt, you can run it either as a standard user or as administrator. You will need to be an administrator to do some of the commands. You can always use the help command to learn about all of the available commands, and then use the /? after a command name to get the specific details on that command. You can use the pipe to the more command to have your output displayed one page at a time. That's very useful when there's a lot of information displayed. You can also use the greater than sign to redirect the output to a text file, or if you want to, because this will always overwrite any existing file with that name, use a double one, two greater than signs, to add output to the end of a text file. So here's a summary list of some of the most commonly used commands and the ones that I've covered in this tutorial. CD for change directory. Dir shows the contents of a directory. That's like a listing that would show your everything that's in a folder. MD or make dir, those are synonyms. They both do the same thing. That creates a directory. RD or rmdir removes a directory. Type will display the contents of a text file. Date and time are simple commands that show your date or your time or allow you to set those. And CLS is a clear screen command. Now your assignment is to create your own command prompt tutorial video, and you're going to upload it to the YouTube channel. You need to cover these commands after you've researched them. These are some additional commands in command prompt. I would like you to cover some of the basics that I also covered so that it's a little more comprehensive. But I want you to discuss copy, move, delete, xcopy, and rename, which has two synonyms, ren or rename. Thank you, and that will be posted on our YouTube channel.